Hello everyone, I'm Nini FC and this is Blue Lines TV, and today I'm bringing you guys another Transfer Daily video. Now there's a ton of things to talk about in today's video. All I'm going to say quickly is if you haven't pressed the bell notification button, please press that. It's the best time to now because there's going to be a lot of transfer stories I'm going to be reporting on in the coming weeks. So definitely stay tuned and stay notified to all things Blue Lines TV. Now another quick thing I want to address is in regards to transfer stories. Now most times I'm only reporting on stuff that's actually been released by the press and I'm giving my thoughts and opinions on it. But I've been fortunate where sometimes I do get some exclusive information where I'm able to disclose it. But I'm fortunate where sometimes I do get some exclusive information, but most times when I do get it, I can't necessarily release it straight away. I have to usually wait until I'm allowed to talk about it. Sometimes that can come at a detriment because sometimes the news can be pretty old. In regards to Musonda, for example, I've been hearing about him for the past month and a half. So sometimes when I do finally release a story, it is usually late sometimes. Lemar was another story. I was told yesterday pretty early on that Chelsea were looking into possibly sending Michy or Musonda on loan to Monaco so they could bring in Lemar in return. But I thought let me wait to actually bring the video out for today instead of releasing it yesterday. And of course the press, the Telegraph have released a story as well. So to me, I do like these types of things because it just further signifies that my source is very legit. But enough talking from me, getting straight into the first video, and that is Thomas Lemar. Now some of you guys have read the reports in the press, that's in regards to Michy possibly going to Monaco either on loan or permanently, and it's the same thing for Musonda. Now in regards to Michy, I've got a lot of things to talk about in today's video, so definitely stay tuned to the end, you don't want to miss it. But first, to address Lemar, I need to talk about the fact that Arsenal did offer close to 100 million to try and sign him, and Liverpool offered close to 100 million to try and sign him as well. Now why am I bringing that up? Well, that's because Monaco are going to expect a lot of money for Thomas Lemar. Now reports on the Telegraph are stating that Monaco would want around 80 million or a figure close to the type of fees that they were getting during last summer. And this is where Chelsea's previous relationship with Emenalo can possibly come into place. Number one, Emenalo was a massive fan of Michy Batshuayi. He's the sole reason why Michy is still at the club. I'm going to explain why later on in this video. Emenalo has big faith in his abilities and he would definitely be interested in bringing him in to Monaco. Emenalo was the sole reason why we brought in Musonda as well. He really helped us beat off a lot of competition to bring him to Chelsea. Now I know Musonda did sign a new contract extension, but we all know the policy at Chelsea. A lot of the youngsters have to sign contracts. That doesn't mean that Musonda is going to necessarily stay here for this season. Conte stated that if Musonda or any player does go, he wants a replacement, regardless if it's a loan spell or permanent transfer. Now, I've been told this is what the club are hoping to do in regards to Thomas Lemar. They're hoping that one, either both players move on loan, or one of them leaves on loan. Now, the plan from Chelsea is, for example, in regards to Michy Batshuayi. I've been told that if Michy did go to Monaco, they'd let him stay there for a year and a half because what Chelsea do want to do is make sure they can get as much money for him as possible. So really, if Michy did go on loan to Monaco, it would be with an option to buy him after the loan spell. And Chelsea know that Michy's market value isn't as high as it can be, and they feel that if he was to regain some form at Monaco, they could potentially get more money for him. Musonda is another player as well. Now I've been told that the club wouldn't mind if he did spend 6 months on loan at Monaco, because again, number one, that will increase his market value, and two, the club feel that he does need to start playing first team football. Now if Chelsea did sign Lemar, that means that Musonda would be getting guaranteed first team opportunities at Monaco, and I think personally to a team like Monaco where they play that same style of football, he's got management there that have faith in him, I feel that that could potentially be good for his career now. But the plan from Chelsea is offer these guys on loan to Monaco for a year and a half or 6 months respective, and then potentially there could be potential offers to buy them at the end of their loan spells, and Chelsea are hoping then by the time they perform for Monaco, that's going to increase their market value, and then that could potentially reduce the fee for Thomas Lemar. Let's say for example Michy is worth 20 million in today's market. The club feel that at the end of his loan spell, let's say he potentially rose to 30 million. Same thing for Monaco, let's say after a successful loan move, he could potentially increase his market worth. If Monaco did agree to sign both players or one of them, that's going to detract from the Thomas Lemar figure, because Monaco would want around 80 to 100 million for Lemar. Now, in yesterday's video, in regards to Thomas Lemar playing at left wing back, at the time I didn't have any information on Thomas Lemar. At the time I made the video, which is pretty early on during the day, and I was only giving my thoughts and opinions on Lemar playing as a left wing back based on the reports from the Telegraph. But in regards to Thomas Lemar, as I've been stressing in a lot of videos over the past couple of months, Chelsea are looking for a versatile attacking player that can play in number 10 positions or out wides. And Thomas Lemar is a player that can fit that. Now, in yesterday's video, I did say that I didn't understand why we would use him at left wing back. I felt personally Lemar was best playing for Monaco last season, where when the Monaco wing backs pushed forward, Lemar was tucking in midfield with Bernardo Silva playing in a cam position. And that's the type of versatility that Conte wants and appreciates, and that Chelsea are interested in, especially because Lemar is only 22 years old and has a big future ahead of him. The club feel that Lemar could play in the front three, and also there's possibilities for left wing back if it ever needed to be during the course of a season. But Lemar's ability to drop deeper and play further up, and his ability to play as like a number 10/winger really attracts Conte and Chelsea. Now, there's two more players that Conte is looking at and the club are looking into. I have spoken about this guy previously, but that is Angel Di Maria. He's a similar vein of player to Thomas Lemar, only a bit older. Now, with Conte, he doesn't care about age because he wants to win, but again, the club have a policy where if you're close to 30 or you are 30, you are only going to get a 1-year contract. But Conte could have some hope now, because it's come out that Di Maria is not happy at Paris Saint-Germain. He isn't playing as much, and they feel that his market value isn't going to be as high, so he could be an easy transfer to bring in from Paris Saint-Germain, especially because it looks like Lucas Moura is moving to China, and he will be moving there in the next couple weeks. Di Maria has that flexibility tactically where he can play centrally and out wide, and that's another option being looked into. Another option that has been looked into by the club is Riyad Mahrez. Now, there's no concrete reports coming out. This story is based on a report that came out from Calcio Mercato, so make of that what you will. Not the most reliable source. But again, I want you guys to realise the type of calibre of player we're looking into. Riyad Mahrez is another guy that can play out wide and can play in number 10 positions. And I think the fact that he is playing in a midfield now for Leicester really opens up even more tactical possibilities. Now, personally, out of all three players, I would personally go for Riyad Mahrez. I think he'd be cheaper. I think that in my opinion, I think he's a world-class player, but he's only playing for Leicester City. I think with him moving to Chelsea, that can really elevate his performances. I think that in terms of how much money he would cost, it wouldn't be anywhere close to the fees that Lemar wants. And I think because of his age and experience in the league, I think that he'd be a more favourable option for Chelsea to look into. Moving on to the next story, and that is Benteke of Crystal Palace. Now, at first, I thought that this transfer wasn't possible, but I've been told that over the last coming weeks, there has been some more negotiations with Benteke, and the club are possibly thinking that they could actually bring him in January. Now, here's the lowdown of the current information I've been told. Benteke, of course, would like to leave. He's got two issues. Number one, he doesn't want to be part of another relegation team. And number two, Roy Hodgson isn't necessarily impressed with Benteke at this moment in time. Now, this is just my own opinion on the matter. I feel that Benteke is very underrated. I can understand his frustration, of course, playing for a team like Palace. Most times he's only dealing with aerial balls, and that can be a bit frustrating, especially when the service to you is very inconsistent. So to me, it's no surprise why he's not going to be as clinical all the time, especially when he's constantly dealing with two defenders on him at every single time. Now, the reason why Benteke could possibly be available this January is because Crystal Palace are looking at bringing in strikers for this January. Now, if they can bring in a sufficient striker of a sufficient standard, they might cash in on Benteke and use that money to sign a new target. Conte is a big fan, and Mourinho's been a big fan. Conte wants a target man at Chelsea, and to be honest, Benteke is the best target man in the league. And I feel that with better players around him, I feel that he could actually add something to the team. Now, my personal opinion, I want us to move away from target men. I want us to play a more sophisticated style of football, but again, in terms of what the manager wants, I'm only giving my opinions on the matter. Now, Conte is not a fan of Michy. I think the game against Huddersfield really cemented the fact that, me personally, I feel that he didn't use him to really stress to the board, bringing me in a striker that I want. I don't trust Michy, I don't want him. Now, I've been told that, especially during last summer, Chelsea were offering Michy to a lot of clubs, but Batshuayi did not want to leave. Now, he was offered to Crystal Palace, but Batshuayi doesn't want to be playing for a relegation caliber team, and now currently he doesn't want to work under Sam Allardyce of Everton either. Michy is actually content at staying with Chelsea because his place in the Belgian team is guaranteed now, because they don't have many top quality striking options. It's only him and Benteke really, and Lukaku as well. I have been told that Michy could possibly be interested in moving to Monaco. I've been told that Bakayoko's really sold the lifestyle there, and also he knows that Emenalo is a big fan and advocate of his abilities. And Monaco, even though their season isn't the greatest so far, they do have big potential and big plans for the future. So really that could be a club where Michy could develop and then get another chance at another big club in the future. So I feel that a team like Monaco tactically could really suit him. Look how Falcao's really prospered. Now that he doesn't necessarily have to link up the play as much and focus solely on making those last man runs and getting in the books, his striking record has been unbelievable for them. And ending on the final story, that is Alexandro. Now, in regards to Alexandro, it has come out that Juventus are trying to do some contract renewals for players. Now, Alexandro isn't the only one they're trying to tie down for longer deals. Barzagli is another one, for example, and many more. Now, Alexandro hasn't had the best season so far. Asamoah has been playing a lot this season and playing ahead of him. But Juventus, of course, still have hopes in Alexandro that he will regain his form, so they will try and test him by offering him a new contract. Now, that doesn't mean he signed anything, it just means that Juventus are finally willing now to open up contract renewals. Now that's all I have on the story so far. But anyway, you guys, that's going to end today's Transfer Daily video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Please like, comment and subscribe. Press the bell notification button if you haven't pressed it, and stay notified to all things Blue Lions TV because it's going to be getting much busier in the next following weeks. I'll have a double upload for tomorrow in regards to the Predict That 11 video for Southampton and for the match previews, so stay tuned. Anyway, you guys, I hope you enjoyed. I'm Nini FC. This is Blue Lions TV. Signing out.